I welcome you to a gentle yoga practice. And if it looks like I am in a different location, it's because I am. Welcome to the brick and mortar studio that is Earthkeeper Yoga. I'm so happy that you've come to join me today. For today's class, I invite you to have access to a couple of blocks as well as your trusty blanket. So grab what you need and I'll meet you right here on the mat. All right, sweet friend, as we get started today, we're going to start in our comfortable seat. So remember, if sitting with just a little bit of your tailbone coming off the front of your blanket is not comfortable through the hips and the knees, take a couple of the blocks and just sit on top of them, and that way the hips can be higher than your knees. We're going to start right here in an easy seat just for a moment. So I invite you to find whatever your easy seat looks like, and then meet me with closed eyes and a tall spine. And give yourself that cleansing breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And just give yourself a moment right here to check in with yourself. See how you're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally. Scan the body from the crown of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet and every little inch in between. Notice any tension in the jaw or in the shoulders, maybe in the back of the neck. Notice if the rib cage is trying to just sit right on top of those hips, reminding yourself to find that link through the spine. And when that feels complete, as if you've checked in with every part of yourself, I invite you just to take a moment to offer up gratitude for anyone, anything, any place. And I am grateful that you are here with me, right here, right now. And give yourself a nice, big, deep inhale. And then as you sigh it out, let the eyes flutter back open. Welcome. All right, let's get started. So we're going to come down onto our backs. You can move your blanket or any kind of knee pad that you may have out of the way, but keep it close. We're going to need it for the first flow. Bring those arms into a nice, big, wide T. And then slowly let the outside edges of your feet come to the outside edges of your mat. You can close your eyes here if it feels okay. Let the mat take all of your weight and give yourself a cleansing breath. As we begin, you can keep those eyes closed. All we're going to do is inhale and let the knees fall over to the right. So we're doing windshield wipers here. Big inhale. Exhale through center. And then inhale over to the left. Back through center. And begin to move with your breath. Moving at a pace that feels comfortable in your body. And give yourself one more round on either side. Beautiful. Bring those knees back up towards center and then shimmy those feet right under the ankles. Go ahead and lift the legs all the way up towards the sky and let the arms reach up as well. Settle the shoulders down the mat and check that your chin is parallel with your shoulders. Just go ahead and point and flex the feet, circle the ankles and the wrists. It may even feel good to bicycle the legs just a little bit. Beautiful. All right, bring this right knee in towards your heart or towards your chest or just outside your ribs, and then let the fingers interlace, holding that knee up towards the chest. Take an inhale, and then exhale, slowly let that left leg extend all the way down your mat. And see if you can soften through the hips, breathe into this opening. Notice if you're holding tension in the upper body and in the jaw. Take an inhale and slowly lift this left leg back up towards the ceiling. And then extend the right leg long. Go ahead and let those fingers interlace right around that left knee. Pull it in close to the heart or outside of the rib. Then take a fresh breath. Slowly exhale that right leg down. So let that leg soften as it extends. And if you can, soften just a little bit through this left leg as well. Just breathing in and out. And soften through the face. Take an inhale, lift this right leg up towards the ceiling. Release the fingertips, reach the arms up over the head, stretch, 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 point the toes. Big deep breath. And then two options here. You can bend knees, bring hands back to the knees and rock and roll up the length of the spine. We're gonna come to seated. So if you need to roll over to your right or your left and press that top hand into the floor to bring yourself up, go ahead. Once you get here, we're gonna come into what I like to call cheerleader pose. So I've got this right leg front first. Left knee is bent with the foot behind, and I'm really putting a lot of weight on this right haunch, if you will. If it is uncomfortable in your body to have this posture, then send the left leg long and wide out to the side, to the left side, okay? So once we get here, we're gonna bring the hands to the heart, lengthen through the spine, so find that space in the back of the neck. Really press the tailbone into the floor and give yourself a nice big deep cleansing breath. Take an inhale and then exhale. Give yourself a gentle twist over to the right. So this is a cold stretch. We're not trying to make it into this huge big twist. But what I do want you to notice is if this right hip started to come off the mat and engage the glute. So slowly let that soften all the way to the knee. Take an inhale. Start to let those hands come outside of that right shin and ankle. And then hinging at the hips, we're going to start to walk those hands forward. Now, it doesn't matter how far we go. We just are more concerned with keeping the length through the spine. Opening a little bit through that right hip. Breathe. And don't press in further than you need to here. It shouldn't hurt. Give it one more breath. Notice how that's feeling for you, and then walk your hands up. Let's twist over to the other side. So bring that left knee forward, right knee behind. Find the length through the spine. Check that that right knee feels okay. Really press the tailbone in, rippling up through the spine, and then see what you can do to release this this right hip all the way into the glute. So you can see mine, I'll move my hand. That's with it tensed up. Just releasing it down, softening where I can. Bring the hands in front of the heart. Take an inhale. Let it go. Fresh breath. And then a gentle twist over to the left. So maybe the left fingertips make their way on to the floor. Maybe the right hand is on the left knee. Soften where you can and breathe. Take an inhale. Start to walk those hands outside of the knee and the ankle. And then with that long spine, just start to walk forward with the hands feeling into that hip. And it's going to feel different on both sides. So give yourself that freedom to explore each side as individual parts of your body. Reaching through the crown, breath in and out through the nose. And this isn't a how low can you go moment. This isn't limbo, so just be gentle with yourself here. One more breath. Beautiful. Start to walk yourself back up. We're going to move from here into a table, and the first flow is a kneeling flow. So if you want to take a moment and spread out your blanket so that you have some cushion under the knees, go right ahead. We're going to meet in that table when you're ready. Fingers spread nice and wide, wrists right under shoulders, knees right under hips. And then let's find that length through the spine. So send the tailbone away, send the crown of the head away. Take an inhale and then rise up, finding that cow shape. So arching up, big stretch through the throat and the belly. And then exhale, rounding it in. Shoulder blades come apart. There's your scaredy cat. Move just like that. Keep that breath in and out through the nose. You're making that little guttural sound in the back of your throat. Calming the parasympathetic nervous system. And give it 2 more rounds. Beautiful. Come back to your table and then send your knees to the outside edges of your mat, just like you did for your feet when we did that windshield wiper. Take an inhale. And then slowly sit the hips back. You're coming into a wide leg child's pose. Let that belly release in between the legs. And spread the arms long over your head. Take an inhale, lift up. We're going to walk those hands over to the right. I love this one. It feels so good on the side body. So take a fresh inhale when you get there. And then exhale, slow release. Feeling that opening from the left middle finger all the way down to the left hip. Reach, reach, reach. One more breath. Inhale, rising up. Walking those hands all the way through center. Let's bring them over to the left. Fresh breath. And then exhale to sink it down. And take an inhale, lift up. Walk those hands back to center. And then from here, I want you to come back into your table so you can reset those knees under the hips. Reset wrists under shoulders. Curl toes, take an inhale. Lift hips, down dog. Pedal through the feet. And feel into that low back body. And so down dog, the first one is just like any other cold stretch. Stretching through that back body from the calves, heels, hamstrings, glutes. And what do you need here? And breathe. Go ahead and give yourself a slow walk up to the top of your mat. Let's meet there together in a forward fold. Big bend in those knees, torso just hanging out on top of those thighs. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's find a slow rise into our mountain, rippling up that awareness from the soles of the feet up to the crown of the head, finding a cleansing breath. Beautiful. Take an inhale, reach the arms and the gaze up. And then as you exhale, bring the chin back forward, goal post the arms, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. Do that 3 more times. Inhale, looking up. Reaching through the fingertips, and then exhale, pulling those elbows in line with the shoulders. Gaze back forward. 2 more. Beautiful. Bring those elbows together, palms touch. Inhale, lift up, big bend in the back if it feels okay. Soften through the booty, inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. So hands can come to blocks. You can clasp elbows. You can let the hands just kind of move on either side of the feet as you feel in, once again, to that low back body. And give yourself 2 more breaths. Come into a moment of stillness, and then when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale, and we're going to step this left leg long down the mat. Find that low lunge. Now that knee is going to end up on the mat, so if you need to go ahead and lower that knee, you go right ahead. If you need blocks on either side of this right foot to make space for your body, do that as well. Send that left heel back, really find that length through the spine. You can slowly lower this left knee down to the mat. Top of the foot comes to the mat. Keep those blocks where they are if you think you might need them. You're going to put all of that weight on the right foot, and then when you're ready, we're going to press up into a kneeling crescent. So you're going to bring that ankle underneath the knee, and then we're going to press this left knee into the floor. Watch what happens with my spine and my pelvis. So I'm going to press that knee into the floor. See how my pelvis tucks in just a little bit, big stretch through that left quad. And I've got length through the spine. Let's send those arms up over the head and then use an exhale to settle the shoulder. This becomes our inhale. So take a deep breath with me. And then exhale, twist over to the right, goalpost those arms. Inhale, twisting back forward. And exhale, goalposting over to the right. Inhale forward. And then exhale, goalpost over to the right. See if you can hold that. Extend this left leg, or left arm rather, long, and let the back of the left palm come outside of the right knee. You can extend the right arm long behind you. Big opening through the shoulder. Extend this left arm long in front. Take an inhale and twist back forward. Exhale, hands down in front of the heart, bow, chin to chest, cleansing breath. Beautiful. You're going to bring your hands down to blocks or down to the floor, depending on what you've got going on there. And then curl left toes, lift hips, meet me back at the top of the mat in a forward fold. Take an inhale, send this right leg long down your mat. We're going to do the same thing on both sides, but give yourself time and space to feel into that right leg, into the hips opening even more, keeping that length through the spine. Take an inhale. Slowly lower that right leg down to your mat. Right top of the foot comes to the mat. And then slowly press yourself up into your kneeling crescent, resetting that knee, or the ankle under the knee. And then go ahead and do it with me all together now. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up as we press that right knee into the floor and tuck the pelvis in, reaching through the crown of the head. Here is our inhale. So inhale here. Exhale, open to the left with your goalpost arms. Inhaling forward. And exhaling over to the left. See the shadows on the wall. Inhale. Keep moving. We'll give it 2 more rounds. Holding that second set of goalpost arms. We'll extend this right leg long outside of the right palm to the outside of the left knee. Left arm extends long behind. Big opening right there through that left shoulder. Breathe. Beautiful. Extend this right leg, or right arm long, sorry. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands down in front of the heart, bow, chin to chest. Beautiful. Bring the hands down to the floor and then shimmy this right hip back just enough to let this left knee come back to meet it. You can move your blocks off of the mat. Send the arms long down the mat and then let the hips go back. Find that child's pose. Give yourself a cleansing breath here if you need it. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Move through your table and into your down dog. Now we're about to do a standing crescent. If that doesn't work in your body, then I'm going to invite you to come back to that kneeling shape that we just made, okay? If you want to come into full crescent, I'm going to invite you to lift your left leg off the floor this time, and then bring knee to nose to step it through. Now give yourself space. I like to kick my right foot out just a little bit more to the right so I feel stable. And then weight in this left foot, inhaling, coming up, finding my crescent. Now, if yours doesn't look like mine, just make sure that you're being safe with ankle right under knee and all of the toes pointed towards the top of your mat. Heel on the right foot shooting towards the back of your mat. Hopefully we warmed up that quad enough. Take an inhale, and then exhale, send the right arm forward, left arm back. Bigger twist, relax that right glute. Now bring this left hand down to the right thigh, right palm comes up over the head. Inhale, send both arms back into that wide T. Exhale, hands come to center. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Down dog. Cleansing breath. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Bring knee to nose, step it through. Crescent legs. What do you need here? Lower the left knee if that's what it is. Weight on that right foot, bringing yourself into your crescent. So holding that crescent, one more breath. Take an inhale, and then open into that twist to the right. Ambulance going by, I'm sorry. All right, right hand comes down to the left thigh, left palm reaches up towards the sky, twist. Inhale, arms back into the T. Bring them back in front of your heart. Inhale, arms and gaze rise. Exhale, coming back down, finding your down dog. Cleansing breath right here. Beautiful. All right, take an inhale, move into a plank or a kneeling plank. Let that booty lower, find your strength, plug in your pelvis to find that strength in your core. Take a fresh breath, and then exhale to come all the way down to your mat. I'm gonna move the blocks out of the way. We're gonna keep the hands right under the shoulders. Relax all the parts of your back body. Squeeze the elbows into the ribs. Take an inhale, lift from the back of your head, and then slowly start to lift the chin. This is baby cobra. We're working on strength in the low back. So if you are putting weight in your hands, lift the hands. Let the low back do the work. Take an inhale, lower the head. Big deep breath. Inhale, lift from the back of the head, right back into that baby cobra. Feel that goodness in the low back. Keep the booty released. Breath in the belly. One more breath. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, lower the head. Press into your hands. Send your hips back. Give yourself a child's pose. Send those knees wide if that's what you need. Stack blocks at the forehead if that's what you need. Stack palms. Rest. And give it one more breath. Beautiful. Make your way into your table. We're going to do a lizard posture from here to really open those hips a little bit deeper. So what I want you to do is to be gentle with yourself. We're going to extend this right leg long, and then we're going to bring that right foot outside of the right hand, okay? So this is where you may want to start to tilt forward in the body. So you're going to feel an opening through the left groin. If you want to add more to the hip, let this right leg come out. Maybe the right knee points away. Opening deeper through the hip. If it feels okay in your body, maybe you come down to elbows. If it doesn't feel good to be on hands, but elbows is too far, put the blocks under where your elbows would be and give yourself more space. Notice if you're clenching your teeth. And give it one more breath. Beautiful. To come out, send the left hip back, come back to hands, bring right knee back to meet the left, let the hands come to the floor, and then wag the dog. All right, let's do the other side. Send the left leg long behind, and then bring the left foot up next to the left hand. Start to walk the hands forward just a bit, starting to lunge the hips forward. And then decide if you want to shimmy that left foot out, maybe come onto the outside edge of the left foot, and then maybe you come from hands down to blocks. And if the teeth clench, it's been known to happen, just bring the top of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Tip of the tongue right behind the top teeth. One more breath. Slowly start to send the hips back, letting those hands come back to your mat. And then let the left knee come back to meet the right. We're ready to check in from that cold stretch. So make your way back into that cheerleading pose. We'll start with the right leg in front. So the cold stretch was two poses actually. It was a twist and it was a modified version of pigeon, really, another hip opener. So hopefully we've caressed and finessed around these two postures enough to be able to hold them a little bit longer. So before we do that, I want to make sure that you're really pressing into the floor with your tailbone, rippling up through the crown of the head. Let's take that inhale and then exhale, twisting over to the right. Notice if that left hip starts to come up off the mat because you engage through that left glute. See if you can soften it and send the nose towards the right shoulder. And breath is in the belly, moving in and out through your nose. Holding it one more breath. Take an inhale. Exhale, coming back towards that right knee. Those hands come, remember, they come outside of the knee and the ankle. And then with that long spine, start to walk your hands forward, coming down to that spot that feels okay to spend a few moments. Using blocks if you need that. And even here in this forward fold that has happened from hinging at the hips, I want you to think about the length of your spine. So reach the crown of your head away from your center. Let that breath travel from tailbone up to the crown of your head. Give it one more breath. And find a cleansing breath here, taking an inhale. Pressing into the hands, starting to walk yourself back as you sigh it out. Beautiful. Let's move over to the other side. So that left knee moves towards the front, the right knee moves behind. Check that you feel like you have the tailbone being able to press into the floor. Definitely more of the weight is on the left one. The right one might not be connected to the floor, that's fine, but see if you can soften it so it's not, the glutes not all engaged and the hips coming forward. You can see that, how when I clench that part of my leg, it comes forward, but if I release it, it settles right back down. So that's what we want, is the settled part. We want the softness. All right, here we go. Taking an inhale and then twisting over to the left, right palm to that left knee, left fingertips on the floor. Reach, send that nose towards the left shoulder. Soften through that right glute. Hold it 2 more breaths. And taking an inhale, coming back to center, hands outside of the leg, hinging at the hips. Weight starts to move forward just a little bit through the upper body. Use the hands to walk yourself down. Use blocks under elbows if you need that extra space. And breathe. Link through the spine. Give yourself 3 more breaths right here. Soften where you can. Beautiful. Hands come to the floor, taking an inhale. Using the exhale to walk yourself back up. Beautiful. We're going to come back down onto our backs. So if you have that blanket out on your mat, I'm going to invite you to move it out of the way. And so when you're ready, I just invite you to go ahead and come down all the way onto your back. And let this right knee stay bent with the right sole of the foot on the floor, but let the left leg extend long. Send those arms out into a T. Take an inhale, and then slowly let that right knee open to the right. Let the bottom of the right foot make connection with the inside of the left leg. You look like a fallen tree, if you will. Now, release through the shoulders, close the eyes. If the knee is uncomfortable in whatever position it's in, you could prop a block or your blanket right on the outside of that right thigh to create more support. Soften the body. And when you're ready, start to lift this right knee up towards the ceiling. And then send the right leg long down the mat. Let this left foot come to the floor, knee up towards the sky. You guessed it. Inhale. And then exhale, let that left knee fall out to the left. Find what support you need underneath the thigh. Let the the bottom of the left foot come to touch the inside of the right leg. And soften through the shoulders and the jaw. Inhale, lift this left knee up towards the ceiling. Left foot comes to the floor. Let the right knee come up to meet the left, right sole of the foot on the floor. Give yourself a cleansing breath. And then what do you need to have your practice feel complete? Maybe it's happy baby. Maybe it's nothing more at all. But I give you these few moments to offer yourself whatever I did not, so that your practice can feel complete. And give yourself about 4 or 5 more breaths, whatever, wherever, however. And then as you're ready, I invite you to make your way into whatever Shavasana will look like for you today. And let that resting period just begin with a nice, big, deep cleansing breath in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth, and rest. You can slowly begin to bring some awareness back into this space that you and I have created together. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Reach your arms up over your head. Give yourself a full body stretch, pointing the fingertips and the toes. And then let yourself roll on to your favorite side, bringing the knees up close to your belly. Resting there for just another moment, continuing to feel supported by the mat. When that feels complete, I'll meet you back in a comfortable seat. Let's meet together with our hands in front of our hearts. As we close our time together, I've tried to offer a class that was based on the idea of duality. So you have moving straight ahead, but then you have these twists, right? It's the opposite of straight. So in that, I'd like to encourage you that as many different postures there are that twist your body and fold you forward and open you up, there are just as many different opinions. And in all of them, we can offer ourselves compassion and a little bit more softness. May you be kind, and may you know kindness. Until we meet together again, gratitude for practicing with me. Namaste.